everyone, TFG and Mike here, and this is the Pullbag After Dark, Episode 9. That's right, it's Episode 9 of the Pullbag After Dark, and this podcast is made up of 3 different clips. The first clip, you're going to hear myself and Ryan Merkley talk about the Transformers changeover for More Than Meets the Eye. The middle clip was recorded a few months ago, I don't know how long ago, with my buddy Jesse Raz, who's a local radio DJ here in Louisville, Kentucky on 106.9 Play. We talked about the whole Cap Hail Hydra thing, so I know that's a little old at this point, but I wanted to get a pullbag out for After Dark, and we're going to have more, I promise. I know I've been promising this for 4 years of the pullbag, but we're just going to have more and more and more, so be patient with us. And yeah, the pullbag After Dark, comic reactions. Let's get to it.
Oh, well, looky what we have here. Welcome to the Joker Cave. Certainly not any jokes around here. What with all the seriousness of putting geeks in a round table about comic books. You're listening to The Pullbag After Dark.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special The Pullbag After Dark. You're going to hear a couple of reactions and different things. The first reaction we have today is from Ryan, the UnEvenFlow Merkley. Hello, sir.
Hello.
I am basically just springing this on him, folks. So, More Than Meets the Eye, Season 2 ends with Transformers More Than Meets the Eye, Issue 55.
Sort of. There's 2 other issues afterwards that tie into the whole Revolution thing.
Right, but...
Yeah,
James
for all
Roberts,
intents and purposes, the season ends.
Yeah. James Roberts, on Twitter, I saw him say that More Than Meets the Eye 55 is this end of Season 2 of More Than Meets the Eye. They're then going to transition into Revolution. After Revolution, it's going to become The Lost Light. What is your thoughts on this, and have you seen the press release about this?
First of all, like real-life stuff for a second. It's really unfortunate that Alex Milne discovered that he wasn't working full-time on the comic via the Twitter notification.
Oh!
That's not good.
It's not cool.
Yeah, no, you gotta do a better job of keeping your employees informed. That was kind of lame, so that's not good. That should not happen, and I feel really bad for him. In terms of the other creative stuff, Nick Roach rejoins Roberts. I guess he's going to write an arc with him. This is the first time that they've teamed up since Last Stand of the Wreckers, which is really, really good. So, it's good. I'm happy that it's continuing. Roberts has done a great job. Season 2, it depends on what you like. Season 2 was really enjoyable for me because it became sort of a character-driven season rather than story-driven. Season 1 was more story-driven with character moments. Season 2's been, character-driven with story moments. And I like the differences between them. I've really enjoyed it. It's still insanely good. It's one of the best comics that I read on a weekly basis. And that's saying something right now, because there's a lot of really good comics out. Rebirth has been really good so far. Snyder's Batman has been consistently good. And then opposite side, I'm impressed with Becky Cloonan's Punisher has been great. The Black Panther relaunch has been really good. I've enjoyed Nighthawk. There's a bunch of comics from everybody.
Right.
And then the Independents, there's a whole ton there. I could keep going.
Oh, yeah, we could be here all night.
Yeah.
But so the Transformers announcements was that More Than Meets the Eye is turning into The Lost Light, and Transformers Not Rid is becoming an Optimus Prime one-shot. No, I'm sorry, the first Optimus Prime ongoing.
Yeah, which is interesting. And then Windblade also splits off as well into a Till All Are One series. So basically,
I like that. Aimee and Nicole and myself, we have been doing the Windblade coverage for a while, and we need to get back to it. We need to finish out that second arc, the
Distant
Lost
Stars.
I
really liked Distant Stars, and I've liked how different the Windblade series has been from the other series. I like that each one has been its own thing.
Right,
and they've done a good job with that. And it's smart, too, because just to be blunt, Baber's good, Margahit Scott are good, and in another timeline, in another life, they would be some of the best writers who have ever done Transformers. But unfortunately, right now, when James Roberts is writing Transformers and you're writing Transformers, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because he's on another level than the other writers, and he's the best Transformers writer ever now at this point. Like, he's surpassed Furman's and everybody else's stuff. Yes, even Budiansky's brilliant Car Wash of Doom from the Marvel. Anyway.
I mean, I like that Margaret is getting, her own... See, I always felt that, and I don't know if this is IDW or just how it was done, but the first two Windblade series, and this is the way I saw them originally, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments, folks, because that's usually what people do on the internet. At first they said, it's going to be, the first series is going to be a 4-issue miniseries. That's fine. The second series, they marked it as an ongoing at first, I thought. And then it only ended up being 7 issues. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, it was going to be ongoing at first. My guess is the season, the Revolution stuff and the relaunch of everything, they just decided, heck with it. We'll just hold off. I expect we're going to see some stuff moved around, like storyline-wise.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing where it's like, what in the Sam hell? Because it just felt to me that Margaret wasn't getting a fair shake. Like, she was getting the starting storyline and being able to write all this awesome stuff because I love her writing. And then, come to find out, and then we have, it's going to be Till All Are One, and that's great, that's cool. Anything with more Windblade for me in the comics is great because I've loved that storyline.
Yeah, I don't get... there have been a decent number of complaints about Windblade. I don't get them. I don't find her a Mary Sue at all, and I love the fact that they have a main character who knows very little or nothing about the war, and especially early on, her naivety and the fact that, she doesn't understand a lot of the conflict and the hatred, I thought it worked really well, especially with IDW's Prime, who's depicted as... flawed, like he's not perfect. Yeah, and a lot of people believe him to be a god. I think that works really well. I'm happy with...
Well, a lot of people, like, on her side, on, what is it?
Caminus.
Yeah, Caminus.
Caminus, literally believe Prime to be a god.
Right.
The only Revolution announcement I'm not pleased with, and I hate to say it or that bugs me... Well, actually, I'm not a huge fan of Revolution... period. I don't think the idea of tying up these completely disparate franchises doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever. I have issues with that. The other thing that bugs me, though, is the, not even elephant, the gigantic planet in the room, the announcement that they're going to go back on what they said they'd never do, and Unicron is coming. Which, do we really need him again in another continuity? I would have just left it alone. I don't know.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say something negative about Mask.
The Mask stuff doesn't... Like, Mask and G.I. Joe just doesn't work, especially in IDW, especially now. So, a quarter of Earth's population was wiped out by the Transformers. B, I mean... Yeah, they're using Transformer technology, but I mean, if the Transformers wanted to, they could still just completely stomp all of Earth easily.
Right.
It's kind of silly to me, and I was happier when both series were off of Earth for a while. That made me happy, but yeah, they're going back. Even worse, to me anyway, bafflingly, Unicron's coming for Earth, not for Cybertron, which I'm not sure how that's going to shake out.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so I'll I'm never not honest with my comic listeners on here on the Pullbag. I am so out of the Transformers comics from IDW. It's not that I don't want to read them. It's not that I don't want to enjoy them, but I have not, outside of Combiner Wars, the last issue I read was other than that event, was issue, I think, 36 of both Not Rid and More Than Meets the Eye. I'm just so not, like, I don't know. It's not that I'm not interested. It's not that I don't want to read good Transformers stories, because I know they're excellent. I mean, but I'm just, like, I don't have, like I was saying on Mayhem Mics a week ago, I don't have the need to, oh my God, I don't know what it is. I'm just kind of, like, lost here. And hopefully, with Blue Raspberry Rodimus on the Lost Light, hopefully I can, get back into it, and I can go back and reread season 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, which, like, More Than Meets the Eye / Lost Light, whichever.
Yeah.
You talk about a series that you need to read everything.
Yeah.
I mean, this...
Oh, yeah, no.
The most recent issue, for example, or even the first page preview of issue 55 calls back something from 36 issues ago. Although the worst / best was the previous issue, 54, which had stuff in it from, I think it was issue 2.
Oh,
like a
okay.
gigantic callback and depressing / sad one. Oh, jeez.
Okay. All right.
James.
Before you start crying on air. But yeah, no, I just wanted to get your reaction about the title changes and that kind of stuff.
I'm fine with it. The only real downer is I'm kind of sad they took the numbering away, especially since More Than Meets the Eye was headed to that, 75 or so. Which Roberts a long time ago, and we'll see if he's stuck to that or if he's written more. But his idea for the series was it lasting 75 issues. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, who knows if that's still what's going to happen or if that's still how long it's going to go. But
now, do you think the Lost Light is just like going to be alternate timeline kind of number? Like, IDW is not Marvel and DC, folks. They don't reboot shit.
No, they're starting it at 1. They've already said.
No. I know it is, but what I'm asking you is, you're saying that Roberts had this plan of 75 issues.
Oh.
Yes, the Lost Light is starting at 1, but the Lost Light is still continuing the More Than Meets the Eye thing. But do you think it will go a certain number of issues and then they'll go back to...
No, because it's still a continuation of his story, he says. So It's still... So in theory, if he remains, exactly the same and doesn't change his mind, hasn't written anything, blah, 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 in theory, this series would end at 25, and that's it. I doubt that's what's going to happen. He's probably written more in the interim. And plus bringing on a guy like Roach to help write Roach will help him come up with more stuff, maybe, or who knows? Maybe he moves on because, you talk about a writer too that's respected. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm a fan of Jason Aaron's. Aaron basically runs an awful lot of the Marvel stuff now, right. And anytime he does interviews, people always ask him, "What's your favorite comic? What are you reading right now?" He pretty much always says that James Roberts' Transformers is the best comic going, and that's high praise from a guy who has to pay attention and is in the industry, and it's a company that he doesn't work for, that he's plugging, so he definitely thinks highly of it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, folks, the next clip you're going to hear here on this episode of the Pullbag After Dark it was pre-recorded a while ago. It was my buddy Jesse Raz, local radio DJ here in town. He reacts to Captain America #1. And yes, I know this is very old, folks, but I'm hoping to have him back on after to see if he still feels the same way as how he felt about Cap hailing HYDRA. So you're going to hear that. And after that, who knows? I don't know. I might grab somebody else for comic opinions.
Who would have thought that over time that would turn out to be a completely logical, good storyline? Oh, wait. Everybody who reads the comic.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be back after this here on the Pullbag After Dark.
Gotham City always brings a smile to my face. Winged freak. surprises. Wait till they get a load of me.
So Cap Hail Hydra 1, or the new adventures of Captain America as a bad guy, which is it's thinly veiled as an attempt to sell comics, but I'm surprised that they did it on the heels of Civil War.
Right.
Because usually they're going the opposite direction of trying to make the comics very much like the movies.
Yeah.
Which really irritates me because there's a reason I like the comics, there's a reason I like the movies.
Yeah.
But the whole Cap Hail Hydra thing, which was kind of blown out of proportion, the most people that were like just blowhard, just so ticked off about it, never read the comics, didn't read this one. I read it. And I'm a guy who has a full-on Avengers 1 accurate, Captain America, suit, shield, all of that stuff. I visit kids in the hospital and dress up. So locally, I'm one of the Captain America people.
Sadly, he's one of the Captain America people that doesn't get to go to Louisville Bats games.
Yeah, that's another story. No, so I read the issue, and it's interesting. Like, the whole concept of making Cap evil, I don't like it on the face of it because it's Captain America. Mm-hmm. But from a listener and a reader of these comics, like, okay, that's something you haven't done before, so that's interesting. I know it's not going to last. I know it'll be fixed somehow because it's comics. It's just like soap operas. But I'm like, all right, I'll hold on for the ride to see if this is justifiable. The first issue, spoiler alert, like, he seems fine, and all of a sudden he shoves some D-list superhero that he's been working with out an airplane and yells out, "Hail Hydra." I'm like, what? And they have this, and the whole thing reeks of time manipulation or magic or cosmic cube, because there's this mysterious woman that seems to know that, hey, kid Steve Rogers back in the early 20s is going to be Captain America. And so she befriends his mom after his mom gets beaten by his dad, which I didn't know Cap's dad was a wife beater. That must have been a new thing. I didn't know that. And she's like, hey, let me buy you dinner. I've got this club. And so they go, and she hands her the flyer, and it's a Hydra thing. So their thing is Steve's been involved with Hydra for all along, which really doesn't make a lot of sense. But again, I'm willing to buy into the concept. The first issue, not a great issue. The last page was the only thing that everybody gravitated to, and it looked like they just kind of added that on. You could tell there's a little like teenage angst in Cap because he just got de-aged, and he's working with a new suit and a new shield because he gave the old one to Sam, and he's letting him still play Captain America, which they kind of did with Bucky, and it's weird. And
so now you got 3 Caps. You got Sam.
Well, Bucky's still not Cap.
Okay.
He's not Cap anymore. He's kind of Winter Soldier, kind of off doing his own thing.
I have not read. For me in Marvel, it just depends, really. Mm-hmm. And it's not that I don't dislike Captain America. I love the movies. I love Evans as Cap, and I love that he has brought the character into the forefront of the superhero movies with the Marvel stuff. But just Marvel Comics in general, there's just too many. Like, I was fine with Superior Spider-Man, and then they're like, oh, guess what? That new movie that no one likes anymore, Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man.
You know what though? I was ready. I could have used a little bit more Doc Ock, but I think I was ready for Peter Parker to come back. I really was. I loved that storyline, and it's obviously different from what they're doing with Cap, but making him evil.
Well, see, the thing is about Cap is what I'm wondering is, are they making him evil and doing a whole time thing? Are they going to say this Cap isn't really Steve?
No,
he's a Ben Reilly.
That's the thing. And of course, all the Marvel execs are saying, "No, this is real. This is legit." Come on, it's comics. Nothing's real legit. I have one opinion, and it may tick you off to no end, but I'll say this: I think Marvel movies and comic book movies in general are the worst thing to ever happen to comic books. Mm-hmm. If you would have asked me 5 years ago, I would not have said that. But the reason I say that now is the movies are great, comic book sales aren't. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to make the books more like the movies.
Well, Marvel did 2 things. They did what is it called? Captain America, Steve Rogers #1, right? Mm-hmm. So they launched the new #1, and because it's a new #1, that didn't make them enough money. They threw in this,
which is fine. Again, like it's different from the movies, and so in that aspect, I'm like, okay, I'm on board with it. I'll bite. But like, they had to make Nick Fury. He can't be the white guy that looks like the Hoff anymore. Now he's sort of retired, and so his African American nephew that looks just like Samuel L. Jackson. Never mind the Ultimate Universe that was Sam Jackson. It's like you don't need that. Like there can be differences between the movies and the TV. It's fine. And then for a little while they screwed with Cap's costume. They had it for no apparent reason. It looked more military like it does in the movies. And I was like, while I thought that looked really cool, I was like, you don't need.
Why can't we just bring the show cap back?
Oh God! Why can't we just forget that existed? Oh man!
Good old first Avenger.
Yeah. But then you've got DC on the other hand that is doing. I don't even know what they're doing.
The two of them. I mean, both Marvel and DC. I get it. They want to be able to make money on their comics. They want to be able to sell books. They want to be able to break in the numbers.
Market, yeah.
And it's a very tough market because you have. While most people will say, and I'm sure you will say, and I'm sure I've said at some point or another, Marvel and DC, for the last 75 plus years, they've been the big two.
They usually are the big two,
And you've got people, like you've got stuff like Image doing stuff, and IDW doing their thing. Well, Vertigo, I really can't count Vertigo because
they're owned by DC.
They're owned by DC now.
But for a while there, I mean, even under DC's tutelage, they kind of have done their own thing, and it's been good. They've had some good stuff come out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been my, I don't want to say it's been my life goal, but for the past year, I wanted to get into Coffin Hill from Vertigo. Yeah, I've got the first 2 volumes, and I just stuff kept coming up.
Oh, I know.
We need to do this, we need to do that, and I just haven't got to it. I think I'm like 9 pages into volume 1, and I like it. I think it's cool, but it's one of those things where DC and Marvel. I really hate to say this, but I'm going to. They're essentially both of them. Are the Howard Sterns of the comic book industry at this point because they constantly reboot. I don't care if it's called Rebirth. I'm not saying that. I'm saying they constantly make new #1s to get those #1 sales.
Well, no, actually, you know why they do #1s? I read a really interesting article, and I forget who wrote it or where I found it. But one of the main reasons they do #1s, yes, because #1s sell. But it's because they decided a long time ago, hey, Detective Comics 983, that's pretty daunting to jump in on.
Yeah.
So if I do Detective Comics 1, all of a sudden, Volume 8, make it more approachable, people can jump on.
Yeah.
The problem is you can make it a #1, but there's still all this continuity. And for me, I love that because I'm like, well, I'll go back and I'll read Volume 3. Man, this is crap. Or, I'm glad they got rid of this. I love this artist. So for a comic fan, that'll kind of dive back there. But for your average person, not necessarily.
Yeah.
And so when you go #1, it's supposed to make it more approachable. But then you go #1, and then you build up into these giant crossovers and then these giant events that tie in a whole bunch of stuff, and then it gets confusing, and it's like, oh, it's designed to make you buy more comics.
And some of the events, now not all of them, specifically on Marvel's side, I can speak to because I haven't read a lot of the big Marvel events, but some of the DC events are like,
oh yeah,
like because you lead up to that. You know, you take well, it was an event, but it wasn't a major event. You take Death of the Family. We've talked about this for 4 years in the pull bag. It started in Batman 13. It went through all the other numbers, all the other books at the time, and then it all led back into Batman 17. I think, if I remember correctly, back when Steve and I were talking about this, you read all the other titles first of number 16. No, listen.
No, I understand where you're going. Yeah, go ahead.
You read everything. Nightwing, Batgirl, Suicide Squad, whatever it was, whatever had a 16 issue You read all that, then you read Batman 16, and then on the reverse of that, when you get to Batman 17, you read that first, and then you spread out
But
across.
see, I shouldn't need a damn flowchart to read an event. Like, I've gotten bit by Marvel and DC, and I'll say this about Marvel, though. So when I read Civil War, originally I just read Civil War, and I got so much out of it. And then I found out there's tie-in issues. And then I read, and then it added to it. I shouldn't have to go read 17 issues to get to this main storyline.
Yeah.
Like, I'll use a great example. So, Crisis on Infinite Earths. You know, the original crossover series to clean up DC continuity. Great. Infinite Crisis. Read that. You know what? That's not bad either. I like that, and that kind of fell more into the category of here's the main thing.
Yeah.
And then here are these other issues that support that and add interesting side stories that we couldn't tell in this.
Right.
Like that. Final Crisis, which was supposed to be the trilogy of that, you had to read the other issues just to know what the heck is going on in that. And even in some of those, it didn't make, like Superman 3D, it was 2 issues. The hell, man? The hell?
2 issues starring Nicolas Cage.
Oh my God! Might as well have been. And it's like, if you're going to do one of that, then write a 7-issue arc that is almost self-contained. Yeah. And even you can even put in a footnote for more info, see Amazing Spider-Man 16 or whatever. And it's like, then that is going to, as a reader who gets excited about this, I'm going to go, okay, yeah, I'm going to pick these up. You know what? I'm going to pick that up because that's really interesting.
Well, see, that's
and
what
then I have to pick up the next 3 or 4 issues to understand what's going on in context, and then you've sold me.
Well, you know, and people that listen to the Pull Bag for the last 4 years will know this. I'm a huge, and you are too, I believe, DC Animated Universe fan.
Yep.
You know, Justice League Unlimited, Superman Animated Series, Batman Beyond, Batman Animated Series, all that stuff. So I'm a huge Nightwing fan. Okay, so that was my thing. When Steve originally did his written review of Batman 13, I'm like, ooh, the Joker. Ooh, I can hear Mark Hamill in my head. I need to read this now. And then I read Batman 13, 14, 15, got to 15, and that's when Nightwing and Batgirl and everybody else starts coming in with the crossovers and the tie-ins. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll read Batgirl because I like Batgirl and I hear Tara Strong in my head all the time. I'll read Nightwing because I hear Lauren Lester in my head all the time. And I read from Nightwing and Batgirl 15 up, and then I went back and read their origins, which is fine for New 52, but like you said earlier, going back to Detective, going to 934, 935, you know what they're going to do? They're going to end up charging anywhere between $7.99 to $9.99. $7.99 to $9.99 for Detective Comics number 1000, because you know that's where they're going. They're going to 1000, and then they're gonna go back to number 1 again.
Yeah. Well, it's like they did with those 666 issues, which actually were pretty good issues. The ones that I bought. But sort of tie this around. I know we started talking about Captain America. Now we're going into Rebirth. But that's what I'm afraid of with Rebirth, though, is I'm afraid that those that have, and I'm not one of them, that have like gotten latched on to these characters in 52, like Nightwing is a completely different character in this new 52 than he really has been in the previous iterations of Nightwing.
Yeah.
Those that have grown attached to it are now going to just get screwed over again. And it's like...
I don't know, because... I don't
know if they are or not, but that's my big fear, is that those kind of characters that they've built up in the new 52 and probably have done a pretty decent job of...
Well, they built him up, but then they tore him down
and
made him the Nick Fury of the DC Universe.
Yes, and I saw that, and it's like, some people might like that, some people might hate that. I don't like it. I mean, he should be Nightwing.
Yeah.
But it's like, but even though you've vested all this time and energy into learning this character, and now they're just going to flip a switch and go, oh no, now he's back to this, which is kind of what they're doing with Superman.
Yeah. I mean, I like that they're bringing Nightwing back, obviously. I'm very open-minded to whatever the story is. I just want the whole Grayson thing to be if I could erase one thing from DC continuity personally, it would be Grayson. I'm sorry. I just can't get behind Dick Grayson as a super spy.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked him in Chicago. I liked,
I loved it. You know that whole run where he's in Bloodhaven before Infinite Crisis and all. Loved that run.
Yeah.
I really liked him in that. He was kind of stepping out on his own. He had his own Batcave. I really liked that run, and then I remember when it just kind of like, okay, Batman's dead, run home. Or actually, I remember the series ended because I'm pretty sure it didn't sell. Yeah. But I remember that series, and I'm like, he is a hero in his own right. He has bad ties, but he's got his life, he's got his own city, all that good stuff. It was good.
And the thing with Cap is that it's one of those things where, like I said, and I know you kind of disagree, but Marvel did two things. They got a new number one for numbers. Mm-hmm. They did a story arc thing where Cap is evil, and as soon as that happened, and I think they did this I think they did this on purpose. This will be the last thing before we go here. I think they did this on purpose. You had Civil War come out, which is basically Cap and Tony fighting amongst each other, and it's whatever else.
Which is a great movie, though.
Right, absolutely fantastic movie. They released the comic shortly after that movie came out to then say, oh, wait, hang on, let's take him in a new story direction. Now, the end of that book, did that make you want to read more, or did that make you just want to rip it up and never do anything with it again?
As a Cap purist, it made me kind of want to rip it up. But as a comic and as a story fan, it made me want to pick up one more issue. Like it didn't. I'm not going to say they had me hooked. Maybe the second issue will get me hooked. Yeah. But like I said, the whole thing just came out of nowhere. And I had picked up the comic knowing what was going to happen. Yeah. But I wasn't seeing it. So maybe the second issue will be a little bit more along those lines and kind of explain things.
Yeah, and I know a lot of
I'm not a big fan of the artwork on there. Sharon Carter looks significantly older than Steve all of a sudden.
Did you see the thing on Facebook?
The Haley Atwell bashing? Yeah. Well, that's in the comics. I mean, it is what it is. It is a little creepy.
It is a little creepy.
It's actually creepier in the comics because in the movie, he just kissed her. Yeah. That was as far as they got. In the comics, he hooked up with her. Yeah. And they were running spy missions, so you know what was going on.
Yeah.
So he's making his way through the Carter family. So, and I get what she's saying. It's creepy, but whatever. She died. She had her chance.
Well, she said
he gets the younger, blonder version of her.
Yeah, he basically gets the revenge girl. Haley Atwell said that it's pretty much incestuous. That
it is a little.
It's not like she and Sharon are kissing. I can see that.
But I will say this. Take this with a grain of salt. It's also a universe where a dude was frozen for 80 years.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, it's like the whole controversy about the Apocalypse billboard strangling Mystique. You know it's not real, right? You know those are mutants. You know it's not a real thing, right? Yeah. Like, it's one of those things. It makes me laugh.
Yeah.
But she kind of does have a point. And I love Haley Atwell. I have a huge crush on her.
Poor Agent Carter. She gets no season 3.
You know what? She did deserve season 3.
I have only seen the first episode of season 2.
Season 2 was okay. It dragged, but it was okay. But it really did kind of drag. I wish they had not been greedy and had done a really tight 2-season story arc. Because season 1 was good, and I liked it. I thought they did when they weren't planning to do a season 2. I thought that was great.
Yeah,
because they really there were a couple episodes they lost me, but as a whole,
it was good.
They planned this little miniseries.
Yeah.
They knew where they were going with the end, and they did it. The second season, I think they were kind of like, well, crap, we have to kind of leave it wide open. Maybe we do this. Yeah. And so there was some fun stuff. And like, I loved having her and Jarvis together again. Yeah, I would have loved more of her and Stark.
Yeah.
Which he came in later, part of that season. So I could have watched. I wanted it to end with the birth of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like that first inkling of that, because I would have loved seeing a young Stark. Well, no, because Nick Fury wasn't there for the beginning.
Oh, that's
of it.
right.
So a young Stark, a young her. Maybe you get a little bit of Ant-Man in there.
Yeah,
you get a little bit of some of that in there, and just seeing the seeds of that. It's like so. Then maybe you have a tie-in.
Yeah.
But they already have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So, which I'm kind of curious as to where they're going with that.
I have not, and it's going to be a cold day in hell before I watch anything past season 1 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I know.
I will say season 2. I will say.
I know people have said season 3 and season 4 are better, and it's got better, but I just.
I will tell you. Here's what you need to watch, and I think it's season 2. Or maybe it was the end of season 1 where S.H.I.E.L.D. collapses. Was that the end of season 1?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember. But right after Winter Soldier,
right,
and S.H.I.E.L.D. goes to hell,
right,
and that happens on the show, that's when it gets really, really good.
One of these days, I'll try it again.
And
I'm too busy having fun in the DC TV universe.
Oh, God, I love The Flash. The Flash is so good. The Flash can do no wrong.
Season 3 is going to be so whacked.
But you know what, though?
Because of the end of season 2.
Oh, yeah. But you know what, though? I read somewhere that they're going to start killing off characters that also appear in movies. The DC is going to start doing that. So I'm nervous for Flash. I'm afraid they might make the transition to Wally.
As long as they're... I mean, but Wally's been set up in that universe fairly nicely.
But I don't like him.
Okay.
He's not... Like, he's okay, and you know what? There's also seeds of this in Rebirth, too.
Yeah.
And it's not that I have anything against a Flash of another color or race or ethnicity. I'm just not a big fan of that particular... He's growing on me, but I didn't...
You want Rosenbaum Wally. That's what you want.
We all deserve Rosenbaum Wally, okay? We all want that. Let's be honest here. But I think that the actor Grant, what's his face?
Grant Gustin.
I think he does such a great job with Barry that I don't want them to make the transition to another Flash. I'm not done hearing his story.
Yeah. And by the time, when's Justice League supposed to come out? 2017, 2018, 2019, something like that?
I don't know. They may have to shoot it 3 times. So.
Yeah. At least it has a simple title, Justice League. That's it. Yeah. So at least but it's just one of those things where I am so in love with the TV universe at this point, especially now, and I don't care what anyone, especially Les Moonves, says over at CBS. Oh, we were going to pick it up if CW did. No, they weren't.
It's too expensive.
Because if CBS was going to pick up Supergirl for a season 2, they would have announced it when they picked up all their other stuff.
Yeah, no, they would know.
And honestly, it's better. I don't know how it's going to work, and we've talked about this before, but I don't know how it's going to work with CW scheduling. But if you think about it, you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If they keep
Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow.
Yep. And Amel said something about a 4-night crossover.
Oh yeah, there's always well, that's the thing. The crossovers have been getting bigger and bigger and bigger since Arrow had Barry on, and then the Flash came, and then they had that,
Legends,
and then Legends. They had kind of a crossover episode to launch them off, and so every year they do these crossovers between these shows, which I think is genius because it takes it right from the game plan of the comics when you do crossovers like that. You do those big events. It's genius. I love it because it allows them to exist in this sort of world where there's not all this continuity necessarily. Like they have a relationship, but like what's going on with Arrow might kind of feed into this, but you don't have to be watching Arrow to really get it.
I do know
because I'm not watching Arrow.
I do know at one point this year for season 2 of Flash and for season 4 of Arrow, Mel said you need to watch both.
Yeah, I had to go and find that episode of Arrow to get it was the arc about killing.
It was Legends, wasn't it?
No, it was right before Legends. No, it was that arc about killing Vandal Savage.
Oh yeah.
With Hawk Girl, it was basically Legends before Legends happened. Which, gosh, I can't believe they killed off Captain Cold.
He's not dead.
He essentially is in that universe because he's moving on to other things, but
but there's another.
I know. It just I really liked him.
That was awesome. Well, he's not really moving on to other things.
He's doing Prison Break.
I was gonna say he's moving back to things he used to do. But
real quick. So Hourman at the end of Legends of Tomorrow. Did you catch that?
Hourman. I'll have to go back and watch.
So he's the guy at the end that came back and I'm from the Justice Society.
Oh, okay.
He says, "My name is Rex Tyler."
Okay,
that's our man.
Okay,
who's basically a drug addict because he takes a pill and he gets super strength an hour at a time. That's how it works. That's why he calls himself Hour Man.
Sounds like Booster Gold. Anyway.
Oh, God, I wish they'd bring Booster Gold to Legends. Did you
even?
Have you read that whole run of his? It was so good. Pick it up.
The only good
right
thing,
after 52.
The only good thing ever to happen to Booster Gold is that Billy West voiced Skeets. That's it.
It was so... Pick up that run because him and Rip Hunter make such a great team.
Oh, God, the time traveling in Legends. But yeah, no, the DC TV universe is going to be interesting. And, you had a point earlier about, they're going to start killing off That's because of the film
That's what
stuff.
I heard, because DC and their short-sightedness is afraid that there's going to be too much confusion.
Well, see, if they would have left Barry alone...
And used Wally?
Or used Jay, or used whoever in the film, it would have been fine. Like, I remember... And
I don't like the look of this Flash so
I
far.
haven't even really seen that much of it. I gotta look. I'm so burnt. Like, right now, a buddy of mine, Steve, said he's pretty much tired of superhero movies. He's tired of them being dark.
Yes.
The constant darkness. And Marvel... I think the darkest ones they have is the Thor movie.
Thor and Civil War.
Well, Civil War... Okay, so let's do Marvel versus DC really quick, because I know you got to go. But let's Civil War versus the BS that is BVS.
Because Batman... No, there's no comparison. I'm saying that Civil War is
the concept
dark for Marvel, but not gritty and dark. Yeah. Like, everything is in this dark filter that I can't...
talking like this.
Yeah, because it's like they take...
They took a serious issue. They took beliefs of both sides, and they took a political issue. They had you choose sides, and that was fine. Whereas the BS that is BVS is like, his mom's name is Martha too.
I will make this analogy for you before I leave.
Yes.
I say that Batman vs. Superman and Captain America: Civil War are the greatest Mother's Day movies ever, because the fighting is either exacerbated or solved because of mothers.
Oh,
spoiler alert: they quit fighting because they both have moms named Martha. And spoiler alert: Stark starts beating the crap out of Cap because his best friend shot his mama. It's all about the mama drama.
The one thing I do absolutely love about Civil War was how they basically made him look like he was in 1989 in Chances Are.
Oh, yeah. They've gotten so good with that.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
So awesome. All right, folks. That was Jesse Raz from 106.9 Play.
Just ranting and a raving.
Yeah, well, you got to find some audience here that...
It's not even an audience. So I have a group text with me and two other buddies, and it's called the Council of Nerds. They're my two best friends in the entire world. One of them, TJ, he's got full-on sleeve of Spider-Man tattoos that I swear is a beautiful piece of artwork. Chad is an IT guy in Evansville, and so we talk back and forth. Last night we were having a debate about how terrible Loki is as a villain. He had 2 Infinity Stones and still screwed up. And he didn't realize it. And how short-sighted he is, and how...
we have an army. We have a Hulk.
And how we went back and forth on how did he get the scepter. He's like, well, he had it. It's like, no, he was giving it to him. Well, he sure knew how to use it. He pointed it at people's hearts and took them over and then shot blasts with them. Doesn't look like that's very hard. Of course, they were like, well... Bruce Banner and Tony Stark couldn't figure it out. I was like, no. Loki just used it because it was beautiful and it was powerful. Tony Stark and Bruce Banner wined and dined it because they really wanted to get to know it better. And that's when they found the Infinity Stone. So,
and ladies and gentlemen, the moral of the story is always sleep with the scepter.
Ew! On that note.
Say, Jarvis, is it that time?
The house party protocol, sir?
Correct.
All right, folks, we heard from Ryan, the UnEvenFlow Merkley, about his reaction to More Than Meets the Eye becoming Till All Are One, The Lost Light. And then we heard my buddy Jesse, one of the local radio DJs, talking about his reaction from a few months ago about Captain America hailing HYDRA. And now we're back to Transformers here inside the Pull Bag After Dark We welcome LadyWreck. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Yes. She's juggling her children right now, folks.
Yeah, trying to feed a little 18-month-old that's like, no, I don't want to eat that anymore, Mommy. Get your feet off the table, silly.
And people wonder why you've disappeared from podcast land.
Oh.
Oh.
The monotonous. Stop doing that. Don't do that. I'm a broken record.
The merry-go-round broke down.
Yeah. Or at least it's on repeat.
Yeah. Well, it's a Roger Rabbit. The merry-go-round broke down. Quite a loony selection for a bunch of drunken reprobates. So we're here, and I wanted to get, since I got Ryan's reaction, I wanted to get Aimee's reaction, because Aimee and I, the night before we recorded this, and a week before this actually goes up, we were sitting here Wednesday night, Thursday night, I don't know, whatever it was.
Tuesday night, scratching our heads, going, huh?
Yeah, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, yeah. So there was Tuesday. Shit. When the hell was it? Damn it. It was Tuesday night, July. Yeah, it was Tuesday night, July 19th into Wednesday morning, July 20th. We were looking at the IDW solicitations for October. And we had Transformers, blah, 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 whatever it is. And then I'm sitting there scratching my head, and I'm like, wait, there's no solicitation for More Than Meets the Eye. What the hell? And as soon as I said that, what the hell, Aimee just goes off.
Well, then I said, what do you mean it's not in there? What do you mean it's not in there? What do you mean it's not there?
I mean, it's not friggin' there.
I was like, but it has to be there. It's not ending, is it?
It's gone. It goes
like,
poof.
No. Okay, go check the last months to see what they said, because I was like, no,
right.
This can't be happening. Oh, no, can't be happening. No, they can't be ending it. Right. They just came out with a news about John Barber. So yeah, you can see how it quickly snowballed into this. No. John left. That was all that happened. That's all that happened.
Yes. So what is happening is I think right before or right after this, I put up on GeekCastRadio.com the the press release. IDW announces post-Revolution debuts, G.I. Joe, Mask, and other new titles explode out of September's bi-weekly event series. And we are getting Transformers The Lost Light with a Shattered Glass Rodimus, a Blue Raspberry Rodimus. I don't even know what kind of Rodimus that is. And we are getting Optimus.
He's fruity flavored.
He's a Fruit Loop, people.
We got Trail Mix, now we have Fruit Loop.
So what's happening here, folks? As Ryan and I talked about a little while ago, they market them as two new ongoings, but essentially what it is More Than Meets the Eye is transforming into The Lost Light, and Transformers, a.k.a. Not Rid, a.k.a. Used to Be Rid, a.k.a. comic formerly known as... yes, that's a bad Prince joke. I'm sorry. I won't get any Prince all over that.
That's okay. We forgive you.
Yes. Not Rid is turning into an Optimus Prime title. Okay.
Yeah, so seems like it. There's just that. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the press release reads that the Revolution ripple effect continues to shake things up as IDW's Transformers line will see some changes with the introduction of two new ongoing titles: Transformers The Lost Light, or Transformers Lost Light. There is no the. And the first ever ongoing Optimus Prime series. Okay. Lost Light will continue the fan-favorite adventures told by More Than Meets the Eye writer James Roberts, joined on art by Jack Lawrence, who has done Doctor Who adventures beginning in December of this year, 2016. The new series will take Rodimus and the crew of the starship Lost Light into the furthest reaches of the universe, searching for the long-lost nights of Cybertron. And then over in Optimus's trailer, John Barber, who recently exited his post as IDW's Hasbro Group editor, won't be straying too far from his IDW roots, as he tackles Optimus Prime, the first solo series to star the Autobot. John will be joined by artist I don't even know how to...
Kai Zima.
Kai Zima.
There.
Oh, okay. It's kind of like Tomax and Zaymot. Optimus Prime has declared Earth to be under his protection, and this November he'll have to face the consequences. So, yeah. Okay, Lost Light and Optimus Prime. Like, they couldn't have come up... Like, okay, I get it's an Optimus Prime series now, but having a comic titled after a character, unless it's Gem, I'm not used to it in Transformers, folks. I'm just not I'm just not used to it in Transformers, I guess. Because, we got Batman, we got Superman, we got Nightwing, we got Wolverine.
I have a feeling that this is just going to be what it's titled for right now, and that it will probably evolve into something else, if you catch my drift. I think it's still going to be Transformers. It just focused on Optimus Prime for however many issues that John wants to run that with. I mean, look at we've had it rebranded already. We've had Dark Cybertron. We're going to have Revolution. We've had Chaos. I mean, I think that's what they're kind of going with, if that makes any sense.
Oh, no, I understand.
I think it's just what John's going to run with while he's doing that. But, it seems like to me that everything that John's doing, he does the events. He's building up to that. Now, I don't know in what capacity that might change for the future, because now he's not going to be the senior editor. But I would think that if that's what he's doing, and that's what he intends to continue doing, that might be the reason why they're calling it Transformers Optimus Prime. I mean, they already did the Windblade thing, so I'm guessing as soon as that doesn't make sense to keep it going like that, they'll change it to something else. They'll rebrand.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be all right. I think they've figured out how to do that without making it a huge problem.
Yeah, the only difference is this is the first time that IDW has gone and done a DC or a Marvel move and gone to new number ones.
Yeah, but I don't think that's a bad thing.
In the last... No, I don't think it's bad either. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying that when did the ongoings original... Was it 2011? 2011, 2012?
Yeah, something like that.
So when Robots in Disguise, when it used to be Robots in Disguise, and when More Than Meets the Eye, when they started, it was 2011, 2012. I could be wrong. I'm sorry, folks. I think it was I really do think it was 2011. When they started, it was Transformers, More Than Meets the Eye.
And not only that, it was the beginning of a brand new year, too.
Right.
Yeah.
So looking at the images on GeekCastRadio.com's press release here that we put up for IDW, it says Transformers Lost Light. The Optimus Prime image just says Optimus Prime. It doesn't say Transformers Optimus Prime. It just says Optimus Prime, and it has a big honking picture of Prime.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I'm wondering is, are they no longer calling it Transformers? Or are they just gonna rotate characters out on this series?
My guess, I'm like, this is just my first instinct is let's just see what Revolution does. Because that might change things too. So I don't know what they're planning. And it just, the way that they're talking about it seems like, okay, there's something more going on here than just recalling it Optimus Prime. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm patiently going to wait and see what they do. Because I'm thinking that maybe it has something to do with what's coming out of Revolution.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's big enough that...
Don't lie, you were freaking out, though.
I was freaking out at first, going, no, More Than Meets the Eye is not... Are they taking a break? That was my first instinct was, maybe they're just taking a break for a month, and so October we won't get anything, it'll just be Revolution. I thought, okay. That was, my first thought. But then when you read the solicits and it said, this is the final issue, and I went, what? It can't be the final issue? No, that's not okay with me. I started panicking. I really did. I did start panicking. It's probably the second panic that I've done in 1 week. Because the first one was when John announced that he was no longer the editor. I was like, no, you can't do this. Because I always said if he ever left, If either him or James ever leave IDW, that I'm going to bawl my eyes out. And I'm not kidding, I will, because they've given us so much awesome stuff that it's just like, no, you can't do this to me.
Absolutely. All right, folks, that's gonna do it for this After Dark. We had Ryan, we had my buddy Jesse, we had Aimee here. It's a little mini After Dark that we did on reacting to Transformers and reacting to Captain America.
3 ongoings. Yay!
3, oh yeah.
Yep.
Till All Are One, Optimus Prime, and
Lost Light. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Oh boy.
That should be your tagline. Oh boy.
Oh boy. I'm getting too old for this. That's what my tagline is. Oh, so yeah. After Dark, this is a little mini episode. As I said in Bag Issue Classics, episode 67, the podcast is going to be taking just a little bit of a break. I don't think I've ever put the podcast or the pullback on hiatus for the last 4 years, so I got to decompress, folks. I'm not really buying comics all that much right now. I'm currently just... One of the reasons why you guys have gotten a lot of IDW coverage is because I'm on their media list and I get to see the stuff, so... But yeah, I gotta do some reformatting and reconstruction, and hopefully the Constructicons don't kill me in the process.
Not much, at least.
Yeah, not much at least. So yeah, the pullback. We're gonna be taking a little bit of a break, as I said in Bag Issue Classics, episode 67. But I just wanted to get this little After Dark thing out there, just to get it out there and to get the clip from my buddy Jesse online and all that good stuff, and have some Transformers reactions. So yay, giant robots, yay!
Now let's cross our fingers that that's all that they're changing, because San Diego Comic-Con's not over yet.
As of this recording, yes, San Diego Comic-Con is not over yet. So make your great escape to comics, and we will catch your crying babies next time.
Bye-bye!
That way, to you, it'll look like they're smiling. Clever?
Brilliant.
Yeah, I can tell you're less than thrilled. For what it's worth, I actually enjoyed some of our romps. But there comes a time when a gal wants more. And now all this gal wants is to settle down with her lovin' sweetheart.
You and the Joker?
Right-a, Rooney! I've never seen you laugh before. I don't think I like it. Cut it out! You're giving me the creeps!
You little fool.
No respect for tradition.